Hey everybody, it's Bonita back with the next set of tutorial. We're going to hopefully do the last 6 pages of our album. So we are on page 7. Remember 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11 have a lot going on. You already have your folder made. So this one has a magnet on it, and this one has a flip that comes up like this, a flip that opens like this, and like that. Then when you come into the inside of it, it has 2 long pockets on the side. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started on that one. So let's go ahead and start and put our long pockets on there, and they're standard, the 2 3/4 by 9.5. So let's go ahead and get these on. Again, I'm going to go right up to the edge. Let that dry for a minute. Same thing with this one. It's always nice when you start with a full bottle of glue too, you guys. Just got glue on the inside of my pocket. We don't want that. Oh, my friend and I discovered a really cool new yarn store today. So we had some fun visiting that. And yeah, I should have washed my hands in between here. I'm old, and for good fun, when I was in grade school, we would put Elmer's glue on our hands and pull it off after it dried to make it look like skin. That's kind of what I'm feeling like right now, although that's not what I want to do. Okay, so we're going to close this one up. I really like, this has been a really fun album to make. Again, I tried to decorate around the paper of what it's going to fit. So a lot of my sizes of my pockets and things like that are designed around the paper. You can use other paper with my albums. I'm not saying that you can't, but the sizes are again around the paper that I'm using. Voyage to the bottom of the sea. Oh my gosh! I think my husband has Me TV on, which I love, by the way. Okay, so there are those. I'm going to move this over here so I know where I'm at. Okay, so there's our 2 pockets. Now we have our top flap that is going to go on here, and it has a 1/4 inch gusset, and that's because there's a lot of thickness at the bottom. So this is 4 by 6 3/4, scored at 6 and 6 1/4, and this is just going to go in the center of our page, and it doesn't have to be perfectly centered. I mean, some of you guys probably want to do that, but you would not even be able to tell. Okay, now before we put our bottom one on, we have to build it. It has all those flips and folds. So our middle piece of this is 4 by 5 3/4, scored at 5 and 5 1/4. Then we have 2 side pieces that are each 4 3/4 by 5, scored at 4 and 4 1/8. We need to attach those to our middle flip. So again, I'm just going to go ahead and glue that. This is really fun to make flips. Ooh, wow, I got a lot of glue in that one. And then this flip goes on this side. So you don't have to have super long paper to make all this stuff work. You just have to learn how to make all your flips and folds by using tabs, putting it together. Okay, so now these fold in, and the magnet is going to be placed on the top middle of this one and on the inside of our top flap. So when we go to put this one on, we want to make sure that we're just going to close that top one because we're going to make sure that it's lined up. And that's how you're going to make sure it's lined up. So we're going to put our glue on here. Oh, I forgot to trim these minor of the corners, and that's okay. I'm going to put that down there. And I'm going to be using this top piece as my guide to make sure I have it in the right place. And it looks pretty good. Cool. Okay. Let's put our magnets on. So the first magnet I'm going to put on is I'm going to, just a second here, I want to make sure that this gusset gets working properly here. I guess we could have decorated that first. I am going to put glue, and remember I like to have my magnet down like a finger width. I don't like it so close to the top because then your paper doesn't adhere all the way down. So we're going to go ahead. Oh, shoot, I can't get a hold of that magnet. Put my magnet down there. I'm going to put score tape over it. And then I'm going to put score tape on the above and below it. And again, you don't want to make sure you don't get too close to that edge there because you don't want to have your tape sticking out from your paper that's going to be on there. Okay, well I thought I got another magnet, so I don't think I did. So hopefully there's an even number there. Okay, remember we're going to drop that magnet on top of that. We're going to glue. We're going to close that. And then that tells us exactly where that magnet should go. Make sure you turn your magnet over when you do that because of the polarities, I guess is what you call it. And if you turn it over when you put it up there, it won't be a magnet. They'll resist each other. Okay, let me put my magnets away so I don't lose those. Okay, look at that. Okay, so that page is created. So I'm going to open these up though while we put our decorative paper inside here. So let's take a look at our paper for this one. This is page 7. So we have our 2 pieces for the inside. Isn't that beautiful? These are both 4.5. This side is 4.5 by 8 1/4. This one's 4 3/4. Because remember, this paper is bigger. Look at that dragonfly. Love it. Not only do I love dragonflies, my favorite color is lime green. And this paper, those dragonflies have just that tad bit of lime green on there, and it's just been fantastic. When Mel sent me my paper, she probably doesn't even know that I love dragonflies and that lime green is my favorite color. So she gave me a double whammy bonus. So I'm going to just secure that paper there. And then this one is 4.5. And again, see, there's the ivy side. So if you don't want the beautiful flowers, you could sure do the ivy side. You can be unique. You can do however you want. There is no right or wrong. I think the beauty though of watching tutorials and learning tutorials and using their layouts, it lets you build an album without being stressed. Well, I don't know about that, but look at that. Okay. Oh, you know what? That one I thought I was missing goes to this page right here. That's crazy. I'm going to put a little sticky note on here to see if I can remember to try to go fix that. If not, in your cutting guide, it will be wrong, and then you'll be like, where, what does this go? But that's why. I didn't even have a long pocket on that page it said it went to. All right, there it goes to page 7. Make sure your words are going the right way. These are 1.5 by 8 1/4. You probably already know that because we've already done several of them. Look at that. Elegant, elegant. So pretty. Unbelievable. Okay. Then we have this cool piece goes right here. This is 6 by 8 1/4. You could also do that if you want. Looks like lined notebook paper. Aged notebook paper. That is so beautiful, you guys. So beautiful. Look at that. Okay. Now we have a mat that this is going to go on. This itself is 3.5 by 5.5, so this is 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. Or you could also use the dragonfly side. Look at that. Cool. I should have. I just got some yarn today that's those colors. Oh my gosh. That's funny because I didn't even think about that. Okay. And when we put this one on, we want to be careful because there's a magnet underneath there, so we want to be careful when we burnish it down. The glue on there. And just be really careful when you burnish this because the magnets are right down there. And then here is just going to be a photo mat. Make sure we get glue on there. And this is photo mat is 3 3/4 by 5 3/4, just like the other one. You guys like these tutorials? Do you like to have it step by step? I'm a really good quilter. I don't read instructions. I just look at pictures. People laugh because they think that's funny. Okay, so now on this one goes on front and it's 3 3/4 by 4 3/4. Let's try not to poke myself. I stabbed myself earlier today with this. Remember on my last tutorial I was telling you I actually stabbed myself right here in the fat part of my hand with this. Holy moly, did that hurt. Okay, so we're going to glue this on here. Put that glue on that. Put that down. careful when you smush it that you don't get that magnet in there. Then we're going to take 2 photo mats and put them on each side here. Now, you know, when people put their photos on here, they could leave white, a white border around it, or they can put their photo all the way up to there. I personally would like a white border. Some people use their photo mats like this, and they use removable adhesive so that people can remove the mat and put their picture on. I don't know if I like that, because my luck, it would rip the paper and people would get upset. I like the photo mats. But I've always liked that. I like layering looks. So you'll be able to put your photos on there. Now, when this one opens up, we're going to put 2 photo mats to the side again. Remember, these are 3 3/4 by 4 3/4. Move it up. Can you see that? Put that there. And then this last one, we have a little baby pocket, and the pocket can go here. And so we're going to go ahead and center that down here. Get that the right size. For some reason, I don't think that's too small. Nope. It's the right size. Okay, and then we're going to glue down that down. So this, you can put a little tag in it. And then this is the same size as the other one, so I want to make sure that you don't have to trim it down, because it might I'm going to have to trim mine down just a hair, you guys. Just a hair. Too tight of a fit. Okay. See, I just had to do a sliver off. I could have made that pocket just a hair bigger. And then this, we need to trim to 3.5 inches. So that was another one of those pieces that said to trim to 3.5 inches, because I didn't want to like cut a little bit off and have that little tag when I was doing my layout of my pieces. So we're going to go 3.5 inches. It's just going to go right on there. Okay, that was a busy page, wasn't it? Okay, so look at that. Okay, so we have opens, we have a photo mat there, Then we have this lovely concoction that we have Photomat, Photomat, Photomat Pocket. We open it up and we have that beautiful spread. I call it I like it my signature spread when you take that 12 by 12 paper and do that. Isn't that beautiful? Okay. So, oh, and don't forget, I always forget to put your arrow up there. Here is your 3/8 inch paper. That's 7. Okay, moving right along. Number 8. Number 8. So number 8 has 2 pockets, and it's going to be a pretty simple, I say that. First thing we're going to do, make sure you've got your stuff on there. Big piece of paper, 6 1/4 by 8 1/4. This has the words on it. And again, you could use this one as well. That's the beauty of some of this paper. You can choose either one of them. Okay. Now these pockets are 4 1/2 by 4 1/2, scored on 3 sides. Make sure you burnish them down really well. These again will have some cute little tags in them. And they are actually going to go this way. Okay. So we're going to start with gluing down the bottom, just like we do in all the pockets, unless the very first pocket, remember, I chose to not do that. The second pocket down. It's kind of nice when you have every other page is a simple page. I'm going to take my ruler to kind of help me get these even in the right place. Glue our sides. Glue our sides. Now, glue our sides. Make sure you get the corners. That's important. Glue the sides. Okay, and then we have 2 pieces that are 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. And I did another really cool thing. This paper was, let me take my tabs off there. See that? Okay, so I just cut it apart to make it fit. I love trying to work the paper. I really try hard for you guys to do some cool things with the paper. Takes a lot of work. Takes a lot of time to get your photos of to re-put them back together as a puzzle, and then make sure I give you the cutting layouts. Again, that is page 8. Voila! Moving on to page 9. Remember, our odd pages have more going on. Page 9, I don't have a mock-up for. it appears. We need that diagonal piece. We have a belly band and a large pocket, and then we have a booklet that's going to go in our belly band. So first of all, let's go ahead and put our large pocket on in here. You know, it's 2 3/4 by, wow, I almost dropped it. 2 3/4 by 9 1/2. I love making albums. I'm working on a wedding album and I have like 2 or 3 baby albums that I need to get done. I've got so much to do. Do our sides. Burnish that down. Burnish that down. The belly band just goes right in the middle. And mine's just a little bit long. So I want to, I'm going to fold this up just a hair, you guys. Your belly band, it's kind of important to have your belly band on with a good and tight. Okay, good. So these you're just gonna glue down. And you're just going to center it. I guess I threw my pin there, huh? Oops. Down there. Down there. Okay, and the other thing is we have is our other diagonal pocket. Remember, we have that piece from the page 1 that we had. And I'm going to put the diagonal pocket this time on this corner. Getting this paper pack, I was worried when I first got it because there was like 4 or 5 papers that had, I don't know what you call it, euphorium or euphoria, you know, the tags, the photo, the different things to use, and so I was worried that because I was going to use those that I was going to run out of paper, and so I was pleasantly surprised when I had 2 full sheets of paper left. I do not know how that happened, but that is cool. That's because I try to pay attention how I make my pockets, my papers, and things like that, so I was pretty excited about that. Okay, so let's get our paper, and we have our front paper is 6 by 8 1/4, and I'm actually not going to use the this side with the ivy. I'm actually going to use this side with the alphabet. It kind of reminds me again of a telephone. Gosh, if some of you are young, you wouldn't even know this, but the telephone, Rolodex, or they used to have this little black thing that would come by and you'd hit a letter, and then it would flip open to that letter. So I'm going to do it with that letter, but you sure can. As I said before, if you want to use this side, feel free to do that. You can customize your album to be a little bit different than mine, and that's quite all right. There's nothing wrong with that. And then we have our lovely triangle. I'm just going to pop that baby on right there. It's cool with diagonals. If you do diagonal pocket, I always try to make 2 in my album because then you don't waste your paper. But if you have a directional paper, that doesn't always work. So try to pay attention when you do that. Okay, so now we have this baby is going to go underneath our belly band, and in May, that's going to go like that. That's 6 by 8 1/4. These, putting it under the belly bands, are a pain in the patooties. Just to let you know, you gotta slip it under there. Again, you could use the note paper side. If you did fancy writing, if you were a person that could do fancy writing, I would do more of the note papers and do some writing in there. You know, like with calligraphy, but I am not good at that. Okay, so I got glue all over, so I want to make sure that that dries before I actually close my stuff up. Here's our belly band cover. It's 1.5 by 8 1/4, and you know, it's just a hair too big. So I am going to shave that down just a hair, you guys. Just a hair. And because I better re-ink this. There, that's a little bit better. Yeah. So I just shaved mine down a little bit, so if you know, you may not have to. But always always try your pieces before you glue them, because that is exactly why. Exactly. Okay. Then we have this piece that goes right in here. I was just checking to see what the other side was. This is 4 3/4 by 8 1/4. Look at all my sticky notes in there. That's how I find out what puzzle pieces to put back together and how to get your cutting guides for you guys. This is going to go right in here. Uh-oh. You know what? I think I am missing a piece for my pocket right here. Well, howdy do. I don't think I have a cut for one of those, so I'm going to have to get into my stash and cut that. So I will, in my finished album, you'll see that, and I won't be able to do it in my cutting guide because I've already done all my cutting guides. So you will have to use a piece of yours, of our papers that are left, to get this pocket right here, and it would be 1.5 by 8 1/4. Okay, I did not cut one of these, so it's 1.5 by 8 1/4. Use what scraps we have left. Okay, then what I have is this booklet, and this booklet is 10 1/4 by 7. And we score at 5 and turn it and score it at 5, so it gives you a big gusset. And there's a reason that we do that, because it actually will help stay in the book. So for right now, all I have is I'm going to put on this cover. This is 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. Now, after I designed all this and I had all the extra paper, I am going to go and you will see that you've already probably seen it in my finished design. I'm going to go in there and put a piece of lined paper in there for journaling, and I will probably also then put photo mats in here. I just hadn't done that and hadn't decided, and so you will see that. And you can do, some people leave them completely black, and I mean here that people can put whatever photos in it. You could put pockets in there. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to again put a journaling paper right in here, the lined paper, and I will probably do photo mats of some type in these 2 pages. So when you do that, it makes it thicker and heavier. So when you go put this in here, then it will stay in there nice and tidy because it's thick. There you go. Okay, so again, we have our 3/8" tape on here. This is page 9. And I will come back and fix this and these. Okay, moving right along to 10. Whoa, almost dropped it. 10 is going to have a large pocket, so make sure we do all of that. Let's do our large pocket. Get that down. The beauty of the large pocket allows you to use your 12 by 12 paper to better capacity, because then you only, instead of having to waste so much paper, this allows you to maneuver it better. And that's what I like about designing, is trying to take that paper and figure out how can I do it, how can I maximize it, how can I make a big album. And again, so this album has 12 pages, and I call it 12 pages with a bonus because we remember each of our odd pages has actual extra page, so we really have 18 pages plus the inside front cover and the back cover, so that's really cool. Okay, so this one also takes a magnet because we have 2 photo mats or flips. So this one's from the top, and I forgot to write the size down on here. So this is 7 1/4 by 4 1/2, and then this is 5 1/4 by 6 1/2. And how these are going to go is we're going to put a flap on the side. You just want to center it. And a flap. On the top. And this one, I forgot. Shoot to toonies. I need to lift up my pocket here. I should have put this on first. So I will make sure I note that in my video. I'm gonna put that. You know, I could have done it through the back too. I don't know what I was thinking. I could have done that too. Put that on there. Move my pocket back down. Make sure flaps go on first. Okay, it's closing like that. So we are going to put a magnet on here. Because this page is a page that would turn like this and it would open. So we are going to put a magnet on this one, and I'm going to put it down here first. Somewhere down in here is fine. And we are going to score tape it. And we're going to put score tape on the top and bottom of it. Take your second magnet, drop it right on there. Put glue on there. Close our other flap. Push on it. Where our magnet's going to go. Score tape. Score tape. And score tape. Okay, so let me furnish that down there. Cool beans. Okay. We are on page 10. Okay. So, you know what, folks? I'm losing my mind because guess what I have here? I have an extra one of these. So this extra one of these goes on our other page. So I am like losing my mind. So let's put that right there. So the lost is found. So I have a couple pieces mislabeled, folks, and that is the beauty of finding it out as you go. So come back and put this one back on our page that we just finished. I just had it labeled wrong. So what I have to do is I have all my pieces put together, and then I have to take them away from all my stuff to build my puzzle for you guys. And then because it was mislabeled, I put it with the wrong thing. Okay, so here we go. So this one goes here. And this is 1.5 by 8 1/4. We've done many of those. This big piece just slides right down in there. So this is the other side. I mean, you could use it, but I'm not going to. And I could have centered those tags, but then when you center the tags, then you lose inches, and you know, you're gonna have a whole page of those to cut out and do with what you want. So don't worry about that. This is gonna slide right in here. Okay, and then we have 2 mats for the insides of these, and they're both the standard 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. As you noticed, I hope you've noticed that there's many places that we have 4 by 6 photos in this album. So you can just, without trimming or anything, you'll be able to put many photos in there. Whoops, forgot I had a magnet in there. So this one we're going to take off our score tape stuff. Put our glue on there. Put this on there. I got a magnet. I remembered the magnet on that one. Okay, then I have 2 of these, and they're almost identical, but I want this one on top. So these are 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, same size as your mats. Get these score pieces for score tape off. See, and you could also use this one. Look at that. That one has words on it. An ivy. And then we have one more. How are we doing for time? 45 minutes in. Yahoo! And that one goes right there. Okay, let's take a gander at that. Look at that one. Wow. Okay, so we have our open flap. We have a place for our photo. Beautiful paper. Place for our photos. And then we have our pocket. Cool, cool, cool. Okay. And that is that 10? I'm like hoping. I only gave it a 3.5-inch spine. I'm hoping we're going to be fine. Okay, so we have one more wacko page. The highfalutin page, number 11. And it has a double pocket. So let me show you what we have on this one. So we once again have a stacked pocket right here. And this time I'm going to let this pocket go all the way through. Remember the last one I made the flip? This one we're not going to because we want that one to go in there. And then we open it up and we have a deep pocket and a deep pocket. So we're going to come here and here is my deep pocket for here. Now when you put this one on, I want you to leave it about 1/8 of an inch away from the where the two pages come together, okay? That way it helps close just a tad bit better. So we put our pocket on as normal, so we're going to glue on the long side, and we are going to put this just like just a baby bit of pass, maybe 1/16 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch, just a little bit. I know you can't, I don't know if you can see that. There you go. So it's just a little bit away from there. And we'll glue the rest of our pockets. You know, I could have, I don't know, I guess I'd ask you for some comments. I could have all the pockets added on and just show you where they go and make the tutorial shorter, or do you enjoy watching me build it as I go with you so you can just remember how to do it? And then this pocket over here, again, we're going to put like that. And whoops, this overlaps, and that's not cool. I'm going to turn that off a little bit. That. It's okay, you don't have to be that quiet. My son's trying to be quiet. Your daughter had her alarm went off, by the way, that she set 23 hours ago, Garrett. Okay. All right, so that pocket's down. And just going to burnish those down like we always do. Okay, let's talk about our stacked pockets. So the first pocket, again, is just like we normally do. It's our it's a long skinny pocket. We're going to go ahead and put that one on. Put that on. As normal. And okay. Okay, now let's talk about their stacked pockets. So remember, I'm going to put this out of the way so you can see. So I had you score at 2 1/4 inches. And I was very clear that says, do not fold there. Don't do that. Because on a stacked pocket, oops, excuse me, let me get my, if you do that, it will not go together well. So just like the other one, we're going to come on that score line and we're going to cut over to the score, and then we're going to do a diagonal little notch. Okay? Again, on that score line to the other score line, and then we're going to notch it. So we have that. Okay? The score line is right there. So we're going to throw those notches away, and I'm going to fold over my, oops. Fold over on my fold lines there. And again, we're not going to do any folding because we want that to go all the way in. So when you now go to put this pocket on, it goes right to that score line. And mine's a little off, right to that score line. I need to move it in just a hair, hair. Just a hair too big. I didn't actually cut that over deep enough. Okay, so that is just going to go right down in there. Oops. Maybe. It's going to go right down in there. And it's going to go right to that score line. Okay. Oh, man. This is a struggle bus. Struggle bus. Okay. I am like having struggle bus. Let me come back out to where I was scored. Let me just snip that a little bit more. Okay. All right. So there we go. You got to get that snipped right. So that is going to make that pocket go deep all the way in. So we don't want to score that other line because we don't want to stop the stuff that's going in there. Oh, my needle is stuck in there. I think my glue is getting like stressed. So all we have to do on this one is glue the sides. That is it. Just glue the sides, go right down to the score line, get it in there straight. So now when I can put my plastic and it's going to go all the way to the bottom. All the way to the bottom. Okay. Cool beans, cool beans, cool beans. Let's grab our paper for this one. So I'm on 11, yeah. Okay. So we are going to have let me see here. Make sure I have, okay, so this one goes here. So this is 3 3/4 by 8 1/4. Again, there's ivy. If you are an ivy lover, then you could totally change the look of this book. Look at this book. That rhymes. That is funny. The look of this book by using more ivy than the flowers. I would be looking, I want to make sure about something before I go I did something special, so I want to make sure that I do this right. Okay, see this right here? Those are going to be the 3 that goes across right up here. So this first one is 1.5 inches. By 8.25, you know that. I don't need to tell you that. So I took these and I cut them apart. So it's going to be cool because they're going to, and then this one is 2.5 inches. See, it's going to go down in here. Isn't that, see? Isn't that cool? It's kind of like the magical illusion that's going to happen with our waterfall. This one's going to go down there. And then this last one is going to finish off that little dragonfly there, and it is also 2.5 inches. This is one of my favorite pages. Look at that. Look at that. Cool. Back to here. This is 6 by 4 3/4, and it goes on the top, but this one. And look at that. And oh, I'm like, what? Here is this one. You could also use the letters if you wanted to from the Rolodex. Actually, that's exactly what I'm doing. I forgot. I have to make notes on my stuff to tell me what side to use. What my thought was at the time when I designed it. Now, what I want to tell you about this next piece is that it is going to go on here, but it's not big enough. So we can do a couple different things. We can do one piece, or what I wanted to do is I wanted to do like 3/8 of an inch. So I need to trim this piece 3.5. So this is one of those pieces that it said trim to what? Couldn't remember what I was trimming it to. But we need to make it 3/8 inch by 3.5. So this is one you had in your paper, and it said to go to number 11. I really didn't know what to do with it, and that is because we wanted to make it. We need 2 pieces that are 3/8 by 3.5. So there's a couple pieces in my cutting guide that you're going to see that you're like, what? But okay, so 3.5, is that what I said? Yes. So 3.5. I'm just going to toss that away. By 3/8. And 3/8 is just one of the big marks before. And I need 2 of those. Okay. So what I should be able to do is lay that here and lay that here. And then now this should fit. Yep. So what I think I'm going to do is really quickly ink these. a little bit. And I'm going to put, and I want to make sure I have the words right, right side up. It's very tiny writing, but I'm going to actually put this one down first, so that will help me put this down. And again, this is just learning to use your paper to your capacity. Little rose in a garden grove. That is beautiful, beautiful. And then here is my other piece I'm going to put down there. So that's what that didn't know what to do with, so we had to trim that one up. So we trimmed it to 3.5 inches long and then 3/8 inch, 2 pieces of 3/8 inch. So hopefully you got that one. Okay, so let's take a gander at this page. So we have our double pocket. That's beautiful. Open up, we have a big pocket here and a deep pocket there. Okay, one more, oops, and we have our 3/8 inch stuff there. We are just at an hour and we have our one last page to do, and it is super duper simple. On my cutting guide, I told you on one of the back pieces you cut the long strips that had words on it, and they were I can't remember how wide they were. We're going to use that on our inside back page for our on the sides of our waterfall. Then I had you cut a little sliver of the brown off, and we need to do that and make it 8.25 inches long. Again, we are on our last page 12. You want to go ahead and do all the score tape around there, and all 12 has is this beautiful piece of ivory paper, which we're going to put down, and we're going to put it all the way to the right. This will be a great journaling page. It has lots. I mean, that's the reason I chose this piece of paper for the journaling. And I want it, I'm going to turn this because I want it to come all the way. Well, I leave my, you know, my 1/8 of an inch, but then I'm just going to take this brown piece and I'm going to put it right there. So it's about 3/8 of an inch. Okay. Here we go. Okay. There we go. Cool beans. So we are now done with all 12 of our pages. So that's going to end this tutorial. Our next coming up, we will be doing the cover of your album, putting in the binding, doing the waterfalls, all that kind of good stuff. So we'll see you soon.